morning, friends. Hello, hello. Good morning, all. How are you? Hello, everyone. Hey, Vicky. Great to see you. Glad you're here. It is good to be back. Thanks for saying that. Uh, you're. It really was amazing that Chris and Ryan got to come out for a few days and help with the return too. Get the chance to meet up on neutral ground and spend some time exploring Barcelona, which is just an amazing city. Yeah, lots of gifts in that. That was really cool. Hey, Donna, well, glad to see you. Yes, I've missed being here. Missed being here with everybody for sure. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, everybody. I am grateful to you all for keeping the faith in my absence and holding our little collective together. I hope that good morning finally. Hey, Irene, good morning to you. I pray that some of this time that we've spent apart and some of the part of the greatest hits have been worthwhile and kind of revisiting some of the ground that we've covered. Hey, Robin, so glad you're here. I am back. It has happened. Good morning, everybody. So glad that you're here. Whoever you... Hey, Kim! Ha ha! You are on a grand adventure. I just peeked in on your movements and yeah. Well, say hey to the old man for me if you see him around the ranch and so glad that you've taken the journey of a new pilgrimage in life, because that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today. So glad, cool to see you here. All right, friends, let's get going this morning. It is the 17th day of October on this Tuesday at 11:11, and the long journey of greatest hits are over, and we are back. We are back gathered together. We are back gathered with our tribe here in our little digital space, and so I am so glad that each one of you are here. I'm so glad that you're a part of this journey. Whether you're hearing my voice for the first time, whether you've been here for our whole long way, welcome to this pilgrimage. Welcome to this walk through the world that is our little gathering here at 11:11 on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So I want to talk today that I am, as you may know, in the task of returning. That returning is actually a task. Who knew that? That actually returning is actually one of our great calls as people of God as well. Like that, there's this way in which we are called to return. Whether we're people who when things go wrong, you get called to return home, right? You feel like you want to gather around the hearth and be with those who are close to you. When you go to the store, there's this way in which you go and return home, and this sense of return. And in fact, when we look at Bible, there is this sense of returning. I have been 26 days out of the country in Spain. Went all over Spain. Spent 180 miles walking the Camino de Santiago to arrive there. and stand in that square and go and gaze upon the bones of James. It's an incredible experience, and I'm sure over these days we'll tell some of those stories. But today I want to talk about returning. Zechariah, the prophet Zechariah, not the one in the New Testament, the Old Testament prophet Zechariah was in the middle of everything in his world having broken. His people were exiled, although they were the oppressing class that had been oppressing them had just been conquered, and they were given this invitation to return home. And this is how the book of Zechariah begins. It says this: "In the 8th month of the 2nd year of Darius, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Zechariah, son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo. The Lord was very angry with your ancestors. Therefore, tell the people, this is what the Lord Almighty says. Return to me, declares the Lord Almighty, and I will return to you, says the Lord Almighty." These words had some power for me in these days. That as I return to to be in the United States, as I return to my life and my work here at church, as I set down my hiking shoes of the Camino and I pick up the what it is to pastor this church again, this act of returning. And Alexander John Shia, who writes a really terrific book about returning from Camino, has this one quote in it, which I think captures a bit of this. This is the reality. He says, "The Camino is filled with muchness, and that requires sorting." And I want to just hold that for a second, because I think he's absolutely right. It is the task of going literally on pilgrimage, to dedicate yourself to that, to get up in the morning and walk all day and beat your body into submission with alternating feet and blisters and sores and all the things that come into all of the miraculous things that happen when you slow your world down outside of the idea of wheeled vehicles or automobiles or anything, but to slow your life down to the speed of alternating feet, and the way in which that changes your very perception of time itself, and all the things that would happen. And then you place those feet on the path of what millions, literally millions of footsteps prior to you have submitted themselves to on the way to Santiago. And when you step into that space, it is muchness, friends. It is muchness. And that requires some sorting. So I'm a bit in this sorting period. But here's what I want to suggest to you, and this is what I think is the reality of one of the gifts of going on pilgrimage, but also the gifts of remembering our status. We Congregationalists here, we're the Pilgrim Church. We are the guys with so tough that they had buckles on their hats. We're the people who take our lineage not only from the spiritual pilgrims of those who showed up in 1620, but this notion that we are people traveling through this world. We are not of this world. And yet we are a part of it, and it is a part of us. But we came into this world, spoken into being, loved into being by the one who made us. We will walk through this world together with our tribe and with those whom we love and those whom we bind together in church. And then one day we will go home. We will engage in the great returning. But so we find ourselves, our true identity and our true sense in pilgrimage, in being a pilgrim, and understanding ourselves as a pilgrim. And so I want to suggest to you is, one of the things I got to see in Barcelona was and a few other places in Spain, was some of the incredible architecture of Gaudi. If you've never, we get the word Gaudi from the word Gaudi, that it actually, his architecture is so spectacular that it is truly original stuff, even 200 years later. And he says this. He says, originality consists of returning to the origin. Originality consists of returning to the origin. If we want to be who we truly are, if we want to be who God has called us to be, what that actually calls us to do is the act of returning to who we were originally made to be. And there is muchness in that, to use our good friend Alexander John Shaya's word. There's this muchness. And I want to suggest to you, that one of the things that has become very clear to me is that this delineation between me, who went and walked 180 miles across Spain and alternated feet and changed the way in which I moved through the world for a while, and that let me kind of see the world in a new way and maybe clean the windows a little bit and all of the journeys that came with that. But here's what I want to suggest to you, that actually our pilgrim status is true no matter where we are. That the act of returning is a constant and consistent act. That Zechariah's call was actually a layout of the spiritual reality of our lives. It's meaning this: when God says, return to me and I will return to you, that in every returning, God is waiting for us to return to him, and that we might return, that he might return back, that he might reciprocate and come a little closer as we draw ourselves closer. You should think about this. Just in the active, this is about the active living of your days. Well, you go to the store and you have an experience at the store. You pick up your Cheerios, you get the things, and you look at the avocados. You can never figure out whether they're ripe or not, like everybody else. And you go around the store and you get your items, and you have a few interactions with the people at the store, and maybe somebody gives you a glance, or there's you wonder what something's about, or there's this interaction in which you've had on the journey to the store, and then you return home, and whoever you maybe share your home with, or you share your space with, or you share whatever it is with, that and you encounter them again. There's this way in which you are returning. You've come back again, and that there's some muchness. There's muchness in our lives everywhere. That actually the muchness that we think we encounter when we go and do some radical movement in our life is actually only it's actually only different. It's only different because of the fact that because it radically changes our view, not because it's actually really different. C.S. Lewis says this. He says, all joy emphasizes our pilgrim status. Think about this. All joy emphasizes our pilgrim status. It always reminds, beckons, awakens desire. Our best havings are wantings. Our best havings are wantings. That we can, in every return, every time we come back through the door of our home, every time we go to even a new place, even in discovery, we can want, we can see, we can bring that whom we truly are, the true origin story of ourselves, that we can live into Zechariah's call of returning to God. Returning to me, return to our very best selves, return to our life of the appreciation of beauty, the wonder of creation, the awe and the majesty, the meekness of spirit that brings us to a place where we can where we're not trying to control the whole world, but where we can hold space for the beauty and the goodness and the true and the good and the beautiful everywhere. You see, because this life really is a life of true pilgrimage, that our true identity, I think, before God is really that of pilgrim. More than it ever was of even child of God. Because in order to step into the identity of child of God, we must first take up our journey, which is ours. which is ours to open ourselves to, which is ours to be a part of, which is ours to hear God's call and return to him. And he will return to us. The great T.S. Eliot says this way. He says, "We shall not cease from exploration. And the end of our exploring, we will be to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time." Friends, I hope you arrive at the place with your relationships, and maybe that person that you've been sharing space with for a long time, you see them in a new way, and that you might return to God and in the discovering of who that new person is. You might discover the wonder of the place that God has planted you, whether it is just a few steps or whether it is a million miles. So you might understand that this returning business isn't just for me who's been out wandering the globe, but for you who right now are being called home by the one who made you, and around every corner and around every ounce of beauty and around every invitation to table and to laughter and to joy is calling you to return to me so that I will return to you, says the Lord Almighty. I hope that you will not cease from your explorations, because gosh knows this world is such where it wants to harden us, it wants to change us, it wants to take away the true great status of our lives, of that of pilgrim moving through it, and make us simply plain old citizens of this world. Don't let it. Don't let it. Be a part of this, as you have been a part of this 11:11 journey. Be a part of the journey of your life, whether it's the trip to the store and back, or whether it's the trip to across the planet, that you might know that God is calling you to return to him, and so that he may return to you. All right, peace and grace to you, my friends. This is my hope for you today. I am so glad that we are back. Just a quick commercial. In about 3 or 4 weeks, we have on the 13th, I think it begins, we have a 3-day retreat. If you're any of 11:11 folks, you want to come, that would be great to have you. It's going to be at Glastonbury Abbey. It is going to be about finding pilgrimage in our daily lives. And so we'll stay there for a couple nights. We'll have meals together. We'll have some sessions. I'm leading it with my partner down the street, Pastor Jamie at the Baptist Church. And we're gonna explore this notion of what it is to be pilgrims in this world, in a world that sometimes might be hostile to us, but how to make that an everyday practice. If you want more information, just message us. We'd love to have you. There'll be more information going on the Facebook page about it soon as well. Peace and grace to you, my friends. It is so great to be back. And we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.